Hey, what's up guys? It's Marv and welcome back to another video. Today I have something very special for you guys. As you've seen in the title and thumbnail, this is Asphalt 7 running at 4K 60 FPS. Now, for me, this is a huge deal because when I play Asphalt 7, it's normally on an iPod or an iPhone at a resolution of 720p. So I have literally quadrupled the resolution, or I think because of how multiplication works, it's probably higher than that. But anyway, quadrupling sounds like a nice marketing term or whatever, so I'll just say that. Now my screen is actually 144 Hertz, so I'm running the game at 144 frames per second, but obviously YouTube does not support that, so you're seeing 4K 60 FPS. And again, this is a huge deal for me because obviously when I played Asphalt 7, it was on a tiny 4-inch screen at 720p, and now we are going to 4K at 60 FPS, which is awesome. But it made me realize how amazing this game actually looks when you up the resolution, and it got me thinking, what if they remastered Asphalt 7? Now, I know like it's going to be probably very unlikely that Gameloft ever remasters their Asphalt series of games, mainly because the popularity of Asphalt really exploded after Asphalt 8. And so those older Asphalt games, not only were they premium, so obviously you had to buy them to get into them, so it didn't have that huge free-to-play player base, but it was also at a time where mobile gaming was not as ginormous as it is today because of the expanded accessibility and cheaper devices to play games on. And the track record of Gameloft remastering games is really small. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the closest we've gotten to a true remastered game from Gameloft is actually Nova Legacy, which is a remake more than it is a remaster of Nova 1. Now, I was extremely excited when that game came out, and I played through it, and I really enjoyed it, but it didn't really live up to the expectation that I had, mainly because it was one of their light titles, or I forgot what they used to call it, but it was kind of like Asphalt Nitro, where the game was like under 50 megabytes, so it could run on anything. It was not very graphically intensive. So really, there wasn't that huge of a deal besides upping the resolution and increasing the fidelity. Obviously, it did not take advantage of all the new fancy tools that Gameloft has in their newer game engines, but it was designed to run on any device, so that's understandable. Obviously, it looked miles ahead of the original Nova, but anyway, I'm getting off track. I want to talk about remastering older Asphalt games, because even just upping the resolution and frame rate like I've done in A7 makes a massive difference. Now, there are some things like the very far backgrounds that cannot be upscaled. The road textures are perfect. The car models are really great. The lighting is actually pretty decent, although I believe for most of it, it is baked in lighting. But pretty much everything scaled up to that 4K resolution, which I was very surprised to see. I figured a lot of it would not, but lo and behold, there you go. Everything is pretty much running at 4K, like I said, except for those small little details, which you don't really notice that much, to be honest. So another reason why this was so significant for me was because there's a famous part about nostalgia, especially when it comes to video games, and that's how when we remember those old video games, we think of them as being incredibly graphically intensive. They look incredible and amazing, and they look like real life, and then we go back and play them, and why does it look like it's coming straight out of Minecraft? Well, this was one of the only situations where I played an older game. In fact, it is over a decade old at this point, and because I've upped the resolution, it looks as good as I remember it. And that's the best part about this, and that gave me so much joy because I was driving around LA in my Audi TT just as well as I remembered it back when it first came out and I was playing on my iPod Touch, and it just gave me that warm fuzzy feeling inside. Now, I also want to talk about the gameplay, of course, because you couldn't talk about Asphalt without talking about gameplay, and that's something that I found to be pretty enjoyable except for the lower classes. Those just felt really slow and clunky, but once I started playing with, I believe it was around class 4 or 5 and above, that's when it really started feeling like that classic Asphalt feeling of pure speed all of the time, no holds barred. And that's something that I definitely miss about Asphalt 9 is a lot of the times you don't feel like you're going that fast. Part of it is the camera angles, part of it is the effects that Asphalt 7 adds. Obviously, the adrenaline effect is incredible at making you feel like you're going way faster than you actually are, whereas in Asphalt 9, the shockwave animation is pretty cool, but it only affects your car. There's nothing being done to the environment itself when you're in shockwave, whereas obviously with Asphalt 7, everything is changed when you go into adrenaline mode, and that makes it feel so much more powerful. Something else you'll notice about the video is whenever I perform a long drift or knock someone down, the co-pilot cracks a joke or makes a funny line, and this is another part about Asphalt 7 that I really miss and I truly love. It really makes this game have a different attitude. In a sense, it confirms to the player that the game doesn't take itself so seriously, and nor should you. That's one of the things about recent Asphalt games that makes the game feel almost empty, but also it almost makes you a bit more mad at the game when you mess things up, because there isn't someone cracking a joke every once in a while or telling you that you've done a good job, and that's something that I really love about Asphalt 7. The car list in this game was also really amazing. Now, these Asphalt games that came out at the start of the previous decade, like Asphalt 5, 6, and 7, really shaped my love for cars, and this game is obviously no exception. Obviously, it has my favorite car of all time, the Audi TT, but it also introduced us to the SSC Tuatara. And yeah, if you didn't know, the Tuatara is actually in this game. It's not actually that new of a car. It's been in concept and prototyping for, well, at this point, over a decade, which was really funny to see when it came back in Asphalt 9. I was like, oh, great, this is a really nice nostalgic throwback from Asphalt 7. And some people were like, huh, this car was in Asphalt 7? So yeah, there's a lot of cars in this game that have come back, but there are definitely some older cars from this game that I would love to see in Asphalt 9 that just will give that car selection a more diverse feeling. Like, for example, in Asphalt 7, we have the Land Rover or Range Rover Evoque, which I find really hilarious is in this game. And it was actually in Asphalt 8, I believe. But again, talking about just car variety and all that sort of stuff, we can talk about that all day. I just wanted to show you guys what Asphalt 7 looks like if it were possibly remastered. Obviously, I think they would do way more visual effects and touch-ups here and there if they did a proper remaster, but this is as close as we're gonna get when it comes to an Asphalt 7 remaster, and I have to say, I am not disappointed. I'm definitely going to continue playing this game. Now that I say that, I am very hooked on Asphalt games at the moment, just from pure nostalgia. I'm actually playing Asphalt Extreme, Asphalt 7, a bit of Overdrive, Asphalt 8, and Asphalt 9, so I have no idea how I'm gonna split my time between those games. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this very special video running Asphalt 7 in 4K. Let me know if you think it looks as good as you remember, because I know I do, but maybe we can have some debate about remastering older Asphalt games, taking some things from older Asphalt games and putting them in A9. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys later.